I'ma cook your, I swear to God, I'll cook your ass every day, nigga. Straight up. You's a suck clout chasing ass. And on my mom, if I ever see you, I beat the dog out your ass, nigga. Straight up. And no, you ain't gotta worry about no lawyers talking about threat. I ever see you beat the dog shit out. And if you ever was in my city, something happened to you, nigga. Straight up.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Kevin Martinez. You trying to be funny? Why don't you go tell that nigga who made that fake paperwork and got that we waiting on another video. You see what I'm saying? You trying to be funny, bitch. We gotta pull that shit out for folks now.
Officer Ricky.
Whooping, bro.
AK. Come out and play.
The fuck? Like the way, sir.
You know I made a response, right?
It hit different. Do your homework. All right, look.
Alright, so let's talk about the fake paperwork. What I did was I reached out to the lieutenant, who's now chief, that was in charge of doing AK's brother investigation back in 2017. As you guys can see right here, this is me reaching back out to him after I originally did the FOIA request. And what I did was I put both papers side by side. So I asked him why on the FOIA request now on page 12 you can't find what I got on page 12 on my old request, right? What's the difference? Why am I not getting this information now when I'm filing for the FOIA request? Why am I not getting it? And this is his response. Keep in mind, right, that I'm not reaching out to him so that he can tell me that the paperwork is valid and it's true. And I'm not expecting for him to tell me any of that because I know that his job is to cover it up. Use your brain when you're trying to really do the math on this, right? My intent with this was to show you guys that I did not make no fake paperwork, right? So as you can see, I asked him about the paperwork. After I reached out to him and asked him about the paperwork, he says, I'll not recognize that page on the left side. I don't recognize that page. I don't know what that is, right? And it's okay. I don't expect for him to tell me that that's a real page because they done fucked up. They know I got a page I'm not supposed to have, right? And ain't that Cash App because I might need lawyer money after this, right? But let's talk about it. So he tells me I can reach out to his chief, who was the one in charge of the investigation, after saying he does not know that paperwork, that's not his paperwork or whatever.
Hello? Hello? Chief, it's Neil. Can you hear me?
As you can see, that was Neil calling his chief. And what is he telling me right here? The signatures on that paper are not any of my officers. But yet, Neil is one of your officers. That's the body cam from the FOIA request. His signature's at the bottom of page 12. So I made that up too.
Whooping, bro.
Mind you, he's telling me this, but he also says you can reach out to my chief, who was the one in charge of the investigation when this shit happened. He's telling me that's not his paperwork. He doesn't know that paperwork. But then in the same sentence, you want to tell me I didn't do the case. My chief did the case. You could reach out to him and ask for more questions. So you know I reached out to the chief to ask him more questions. Keep in mind, I'm not expecting for him to tell me, yes, that paperwork is valid. That's our paperwork, right? You're dumb if you think police is going to tell you that somebody's an undercover cop, right? You're dumb if you really think they're going to admit to that. But when people talk, they always say enough to fuck up and give you your answer. Pay attention though. Let's get it.
Looking over that copy of the report that you had before you spoke with us.
Yeah, I've been looking into it. I'm like, I got old paperwork, I got new paperwork, and I'm like, let me do an FOIA request. And then I'm like, hold on. Was it because it's redacted? Is there a reason his brother was questioned and it was just redacted? Or is it something that just, I was like, let me just call. You the one that did the interviews with them, right?
Yeah, that's right. I did all the interviews, and I never typed that first page that you had, where you had the vehicle information and all that information on it in caps.
So his brother, Martinez was never questioned or involved with the case?
No, not on our end. I don't know what happened outside of our investigation.
Got him. You heard what he said, right? You heard what the fuck he just said? I don't know what happened outside our investigation. What does he mean by outside of our investigation. It's your investigation, but I'm gonna show you why he's saying that. It's right in the paperwork, and I just caught him in a fucking lie. Well, not really, because he's not lying. There was more to the investigation that is not on paperwork, but they fucked up and gave me something that I got, and it shows what else happened outside the investigation and why BCI was there. Let's get it. I'm gonna show you guys on the paperwork. Here's another lie he mentioned that is on paperwork and he lied about.
So his brother Martinez Ray was never questioned or involved with the case?
No, not on our end. I don't know what happened outside of our investigation, but none of these things happened during our investigation. We never dealt with, Mary Stecker. I didn't deal with her at all.
So he said he never dealt with Mary the Stetcher, right? That's what he said. He never dealt with her. But she's part of the case. Then he says that didn't happen during our investigation, referring to page 12, where it mentions that AK's mom came over there and demanded to go in there with her son while AK's brother was getting questioned. The page that says AK is an undercover gang liaison, whatever that shit is, right? That page, he's talking about none of that happened during his investigation. He says he never dealt with Mary Estetcher, right? But Mary Estetcher is on the paperwork. She's right here. She was one of the people that was arrested. Here we go. Kevin, which is AK's brother, right? He was arrested. Dejan, he was arrested. Isaiah is the victim, right? Then we got Chinita E. Langford. Then we got Mary E. Stetcher. Then we got Matthew Stetcher, which is the white dude, the Uber driver they tried to rob, who defended himself, right? And killed Isaiah. Rest in peace to Isaiah. So if he never dealt with Mary E. Stetcher, who dealt with her? Because the paperwork that is available says she was arrested. That's the Uber driver's wife. They arrested her for conspiracy and a bunch of other shit. They're saying she has something to do with what she got charged with. She was charged with trafficking in drugs and voluntary manslaughter. So who did this paperwork, AK? BCI was there for over 4.5 hours. And usually BCI comes and helps with cases when there's another officer involved. Usually if there's an officer type of shooting or there's an investigation that needs help, when you got like a little small town and all that, sometimes they do help, right? So I thought maybe that's the reason why they came and helped. But when you can see that more than one department was involved with the investigation, you can't say this is not your paperwork. You can't say that this paperwork is fake. You just said you didn't deal with Mary the Stetcher, but yet she was fucking arrested. Isaiah's grandmother was also arrested. His grandmother, right? And that's Chinita. That's her name right here. Chinita E. Langford. She was also arrested. Why was she arrested? I have no idea, because that was her grandson. She was also hit with trafficking in drugs, voluntary manslaughter, and aggravated robbery, street gun. What the fuck is going on with this case? You just heard the chief, right, tell me that he didn't deal with them and that stuff didn't happen during his investigation. BCI only comes when there's a police involved type shooting with a police officer involved, right? And sometimes they do help with small towns.
We want to do things right. At BCI, we have investigated cases that have both been determined by a prosecutor or a grand jury to have been lawful, the conduct by the officer as far as their use of force. However, we have also investigated cases where it was later determined by the prosecutor or grand jury that the officer's conduct was unlawful and resulted in criminal charges against the officer for crimes such as murder, manslaughter, or negligent homicide or assault.
But my question is, did BCI come in to question and take over their investigation because they know they had an undercover agent involved with the investigation? Because the report says that the brother mentioned that AK was originally the one who came up with the plan to go make the robbery with the Uber driver, right? And then he recanted his statement and said, no, it was just them that did it. It was just them who was involved with the robbery and they came up with it. But initially, he stated that AK drove them to the crime scene. Now you see why there was more than one department investigating this case? Mind you, these dudes were transferred from station to station back and forth, right? They were going from Pepper Pike Jail to Giagua Jail, back to Beechwood Jail, and then back to Pepper Pike Jail. This happened on the 22nd, May 22nd. On the 24th, they were getting transferred back to another jail, to another jail, to another jail. This is why the officer I spoke to, the chief, says, not during our investigation. I don't know what happened outside of our investigation, but not during our investigation. That's why he's saying that. Look how many times these guys were transferred before they were transferred back. On page 1, on this paperwork, you have all the names of the people that were arrested, and you have all the names of all the officers that were involved. On another sheet, you have all the other officers that were at the crime scene investigation. That's where it mentions that BCI was there, right? Then you can see all the minutes counted for. At the bottom of the sheets, you can see, on most of these sheets, you can see who wrote out this paperwork, right? Like some of them you see that says James Colbert, which is the sergeant now. That's who referred me to Dietz, who's the chief now and did all the investigation, right? Colbert, he's the one that referred me to Dietz. Carl Dietz, right? Okay. Here on this page where it mentions it was brought back from Giagua County back to Beechwood Jail, right? On this page right here, it says Craig Hampton all the way at the bottom. Look at the date. That's 5/24/2017. So this happened on the 22nd. Why would these dudes move back and forth to 3 different departments all the way down to the 24th? This shit happened on the 22nd. This investigation was an open and shut case. The body was there. The guy turned himself in a few hours later, gave up the gun, everything. It was an open and shut case. Why was this case taking so long? What was so big about this investigation? Why they kept questioning AK's brother? Why they kept questioning Dejan? Why was BCI involved? BCI usually gets involved when it's an officer type of shooting or an officer is involved and they got to do with big investigation. Mind you, the BCI officer who was supposed to be the one to do the investigation outside of the Pepper Pike Police Department investigation, right? The independent investigation, that's what BCI does, right? He was later fired for being a crooked type cop. And he's supposed to be the one who questioned AK, allegedly, right? Dietz, which is the chief who I spoke to, I looked him up, and he also had some stuff on his name, right?
Whooping, bro.
There was some things that came up with his name, some charges were brought up against him and all this other stuff about him tipping off people about certain things that were going to happen ahead of time and stuff like that. Allegedly, even though it's public information. This is who's telling me that this paperwork was not done by him or his department. Facts. It was not done by you or your department. You just told me you didn't deal with Mary Stetcher, but she was arrested. She was part of this case, right? That's the Uber driver's wife. Poor Isaiah dies and gets his grandmother arrested. Dejan gets arrested. AK's brother get arrested. This is why AK's family don't fuck with AK. This proved that like a year after his brother was arrested, his mom reached out to AK, asked him for some pictures. You know, AK asked the mom, let me get the JPay so I could, send him some money. AK's mom is telling AK, he's the spades champion in jail playing cards. So I guess they kind of like made up a little something, but AK know what the fuck going on. He know why his family stopped fucking with him. Yet he says he debunked my paperwork and proved that shit was fake. How? He showed you guys a picture that someone edited and put AK wearing a police uniform, right? I didn't do that. He starts off the video with that. So off the bat, it already looks like everything is edited. He's showing you a picture of him wearing a fucking police uniform, right? Pay attention to the mind games people play with y'all, all right? Pay close attention. Mind games. He shows y'all that picture, then he shows a picture of 3 different papers, right? And the 3 different papers supposed to be the same sheet. And then he says, how does paper go from this to this to this? He knows how that paper went from this to this to this. He got those clips off a video that Loyalty and Betrayal was explaining and breaking down how different papers get redacted, right? Most departments, every time I've done a FOIA request, the paperwork gets redacted in black. Whatever they don't want you to read is usually in black. With this department, I noticed that the way they redact paperwork is in white. So you'll never notice what's redacted. But if you read in the paper, you'll notice there's sentences missing where they're redacting certain things, but it's white instead of black. Page 12, where AK is mentioned, that whole page is white. So she was breaking down how, page 12, when you do the FOIA request, the one they're gonna give you is gonna be white. They're not giving you the original, right? Then she's showing what the original looks like. Then she's showing what it would look like if it was a regular police station redacting it in black. So AK takes all 3 sheets and says, oh, look, they edited. This is how they made fake paperwork on me. Look at how the box is square and it's tilted. If you ever fax paperwork or do a PDF, right? Sometimes the paper comes a little crooked. It might be tilted or whatnot. That doesn't mean the paperwork is fake. I'm gonna make up such a fucking story, right? Just to prove that he's whatever they're saying he is on that little paragraph, right? Where they're saying he's an undercover liaison or whatever, right? I'm gonna make up such story. I'm gonna find Chinita, that's Isaiah, the victim's grandmother. I'm gonna go find Dejan, his friend. I'm gonna make such a story just to put AK's name in there and make this up. I made it all up. When all I found out AK, right? That's why he always says he never snitched on nobody, because he never did. All he did was deny that he was there. He knew anybody, right? But look what it says about you. It says you an undercover liaison for the PD. I looked up what liaison means, and look what it means. This is what it means.
Undercover law enforcement agents carry out covert investigations to prevent criminal activities and gather evidence to solve crimes. They are vital to the operation of law enforcement agencies and can work at the local, state, and federal
I'm not gonna
level.
say who came to me, but somebody, because he faced legal problems. It was Lowski that made that video. Well, whoever made the video, it was a problem going on.
So let's make this make sense. They come to you so you can make a video, but you're not a blogger. You have no subscribers. You're not a blogger. And they choose to come to you so you can make a video so you can clear the name up and make things better. See, if you were saying this now, it will make sense because you're a big blogger. You got good numbers. You do numbers and all that. And it makes sense for someone to come to you now so you can control the narrative, right? But for someone to come to you when you's not a blogger at all, so you can speak on this, so you can do what? Make it make sense. This is what I'm saying, people. Make it make sense.
People wanted me to straighten out a name. So when I made that video, notice, I ain't say Muwab had no gun. Now, the person who made the video said Muwab was actually a shooter. We could play this video. I never said Muwab had a gun. I never said Muwab shot shit. All I tried to do was make better of the video that was already circulating. Because this is a month later, in Chicago, them niggas' names was on fire because of duck name, nigga.
Gang liaison officer. Responsible for investigating all gang-related offenses that occur within the city of Dallas. Locate and document gang members that reside or are arrested within the city. Perform consensual and in custody interviews of gang members.
He's undercover, so that doesn't apply to him.
Responsible for conducting surveillance on high-priority suspects to gang-related offenses. Assist federal agencies such as the DEA, ATF, and FBI with operations regarding gang activity in Dallas, as well other specialized units such as the Narcotics Division.
We gotta put that shit out for folks now. It's different.
Interesting how what liaison means pretty much is what AK is on social media. This is fucking mind-boggling how is exactly what AK does on social media. That's a liaison for you. But I made this up. I made up the fake paperwork. I made up this whole story, right? That's fucking nuts. If you really think I got the skills to really come through and make such a story and put all these people together and find all these people with different names. You know what I mean? I never knew AK had a fucking brother. Like I was saying before, all I found on AK was a trespassing charge. And when he got arrested for trespassing, he lied and gave a false name. Then he had them call his grandmother or whatever, and she gave up his real name. So he was charged with trespassing and giving the police false information. He got hit with community service for that. He couldn't even serve the community service, so his grandma paid the money that he had to pay the fine or whatnot and get him out of trouble. She even wrote a letter to the court saying he's a good boy, he takes care of his grandfather, please give him some more time to complete his community service. Right? He's such a fucking gangster and been in the streets so hard that all he has on his record is a trespassing charge. He caught 2 charges in one day. That's it. The toughest gangster out of Cleveland who talks all this street shit, who can relate to everything. Damn, how you never get in trouble? How you got a gun license? That's why you always waving pipes on live and you legit? You know how it be in the hood. You come outside and you get snatched up. You fit the description. They'll start looking around, find somebody else's drugs in the hood, they put them on you. You gone. You go in the projects because your mom don't live there no more and you get hit with trespassing. That's the same shit that used to happen with Vaughn in O Block all the time. Vaughn was banned from O Block because he didn't live there anymore. So anytime he came back to O Block, he was hit with trespassing. The same thing happens to a lot of these members in O Block. Every time they come back, they're banned from O Block because they don't live there no more, so they get hit with trespassing. That's why when I went over there, they were waiting for me to go in there with a residence card or with a resident so I could get escorted in there because you get hit with trespassing. You can't just go in there if you don't live there. And that's how I be in the hood.
And he also said your real name. And he also said where you live. Listen. I'm the nigga who floated that Facebook page out there. Ain't nobody sat back and did no research to figure out who the fuck I am. I'm the one who floated that Facebook page out there. Be careful, AK. I don't gotta be careful because the Facebook page, that is not my real name. It's not. I put that out there. For this nigga to tell me you the police because another mother said I'm the police because of a name I got on Facebook. I got 5 different names on Facebook. And all of them some foreign names. You know what I'm saying?
This is him. Do your homework on him.
Type shit China Mac like.
We really been watching a undercover agent on YouTube this whole time. I just dropped my box of whoops. But let's continue. We've been watching the police acting, playing like a gangster on social media this whole time. I'm guilty of that too, I'm not gonna lie. Cause I was fucking with Officer Ricky Hart, you know what I mean? That was my man. I was fucking with him. Even though there was red flags, I was still fucking with him, right? We really gotta be careful with what's going on in these YouTube streets. Just like you gotta watch your back and be careful with these niggas in the streets. What y'all think, social media is not turning into the streets? They really got niggas on here playing gangster, you know what I mean? Controlling the narratives, having people in the comment section drop and talk about certain crimes, open cases or whatnot. All in niggas' DMs, talking about shit, giving niggas information, thinking that they're just giving their favorite content creators some information. But you really talking to the police. That's what the fuck going on in the streets. So it is what it is, man. Ain't nothing changing. You still lit. You just not qualified to talk on no street shit. Definitely not. You can't sit there and talk to me about some shit you never been through. You've been around, but you can't talk to me about no jail cells, no judge, no fucking being in the box. You know what I mean? Ordering commissary, knowing the feeling of having to jump on that phone for 15 minutes, shit hanging up because you only got 3 calls a week. Baby mama out there fucking on niggas and shit. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You don't know the feeling of that shit. Come on, man. You can't never come out here and act like you really, really, really fully certified that we talking about this shit that you ain't. You definitely not, my nigga. You know what I mean? Stay in your lane. Real niggas know what the I'm talking about and know what the mean. You know what I mean? How the this nigga? The voice of the streets. How you the voice of the streets? You haven't been through half of the shit niggas really in the streets been through. You got a gun license, my nigga. A gun license. Niggas in the streets got felonies by the time they're 17, bro. 13. By the time I was 21, I was already coming home from my first bitch. Stop playing with me, man. You know what I mean? I was already a convicted felon. You so gangster, how the f you managed to stay out of trouble and get a license? That's why you be waving all them pipes on live and all that shit with no worries. Because you good. You ain't got to worry about it. You got a license. And that's cool. Shout out to you.
I refuse to believe he's the smartest criminal. Everybody always says that shit. Oh, I didn't get caught. But all the major guys get caught. Or at least get investigated by the feds, right? Maybe you get lucky enough to beat that shit. But everybody else is getting caught.
I wish I stood out of trouble long enough and was able to get my own license. You know what I mean? I would love to be walking around legit. But you ain't like that. You definitely not like that. So stop it. And stop playing my name. Because I ain't got no reason to hate on nobody. Ain't no hate on my blood, nigga. You know what I mean? This shit bothered me just like the whole swiper shit bothered me because I was fucking with y'all niggas. But y'all niggas ain't right. And y'all not going to be out here acting and talking like y'all really like that because y'all not like that. You know what I mean? Definitely not going to be doing that. Y'all know how we coming, dude, man. Boss you too. Let's get it.
Hey, you say a street nigga gonna fuck up once. He said he was a hardcore street drug dealer nigga. Come on, bro. They don't find that right there. Because the only homie I knew that was like that. The only homie I knew that was like that.
All right, we're about to wrap this up. Pay attention to how AK dropped a Facebook post about a week before his brother caught the case. And right after that, you see he's not dropping nothing else on Facebook all the way to August. The case happened May 22nd. Look at how AK disappeared all the way from May to August, a week before his brother caught the case. That's interesting to know, huh? Here you go, AK lying about who Isaiah is, acting like he ain't know Zay. But yet, I got the paperwork where it says he was arrested for the trespassing and Zay was with him that day. But he said he didn't know Zay. But he didn't know I was going to get that paperwork either.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
He says I'm wrong for exposing him without talking to him first. But yet, look how he's doing Seti, and Seti's supposed to be his brother. Look how he talking about Seti just to make sure he clears his name. That's your man, though, right? That's your brother, and you call me bogus, though.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like
AK's brother graduated in high school. He says he didn't graduate, but he can get a GED and still make something out of it. So this picture right here, it was on Facebook. I think that dude right there looked like a fucking younger AK, right? But I just can't find the list of these fucking cadets. But regardless, my point is, I want to show you guys what one of the police officers is saying in the comment section on this picture right here. He's highly upset because he's like, why post this picture when a lot of these guys are going to be undercover agents when they graduate and stuff like that, and you guys are exposing these guys. And this is coming out of Cleveland. This is what they're doing in a lot of these cities with these undercover guys. AK goes by Murdoch, but I'm going to show y'all the real Murdoch out of Cleveland. That's the real Murdoch out of Cleveland. He locked up right now. Free that man.
Educational purposes only. Please respect the views and opinions of this channel. All accusations and or opinions are alleged on this channel. All names are alleged obtained from public social media websites. Please respect the channel and its channel holders. And again, all names, accusations are alleged. Thank you for your support.